Tyrese,
Yes.
if you were in charge of the Pokemon Company, what would you have done today? What would you have given the people?
Not to date the episode. It's currently February 27th.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, patch 1.2.
522.
1.2 for Scarlet and Violet releases tomorrow. When they said late
Oh,
February,
they meant the latest
they
possible
meant
February
the
they
last
could get.
minute, yeah.
Okay.
I would have just fucking waited till the summer till they had something good to show.
We got Pokemon Sleep.
Well, look, right.
Don't act like it was nothing.
Look, I know this isn't this. I know this is Doctor Who Rewind, but I've got some dirty laundry to air. Okay, I am fine with what they announced. You can so hear that.
Is it so loud?
Yeah. Just crunchy cracker or whatever the fuck it is. Knew you were gonna do it. In sync.
I was wondering why it was like so loud and like visceral to me.
So the Pokemon issue, the issue that I have with Pokemon,
Yes.
is like you can announce DLC for your game. Of course you can do that.
Yeah.
You're a business. You need to make money. Whilst I'm not like, oh cool, yeah, DLC. I'm not really excited for it. I didn't get it with the Gala stuff either. That's fine. Don't announce DLC for a base game that's broken as shit. That has never broken twice the same time. This snowflake of a game.
Yeah.
Not snowflake in the internet sense.
In
So
the unique and different.
A lowercase snowflake, if you will.
Yeah.
Tooth and claw, more like T's and C's apply.
What? No.
Anyway, welcome to Doctor Who Rewind. It's an unofficial and unprofessional rewatch podcast where I, Tyrese, and my friend Katie...
Does he know this from memory? Let's see.
I did, and then you said it. Well, I, Tyrese, and my friend Katie rewatch episodes of Doctor Who, beginning with the... Don't even mouth it, please don't.
I don't even
The
have
revival,
it up. I'm also doing
the revival in 2005. Once we finish that, we'll backtrack to the 60s and review episodes of Classic Who. And after that or between that, it doesn't really matter how this bit goes. We do games and books and Big Finish audio adventures.
And more.
We've done this so much that I've now sort of almost got that memorised. Which, if you didn't interrupt, I can guarantee you I'd have done that in one go.
Yeah, the thing is...
Do you think when someone goes, what's your favourite colour? And you go, oh my god, everything's grey.
The thing is, like, I feel like I don't think I'm confident enough in knowing what it is to be able to do it from memory, but I know what sounds wrong. Like, I know what's not.
Yeah, you know,
I
know
that makes sense.
I know what's not the.
I know what's wrong about it.
I know it's not the intro. Tooth and claw this week.
Yeah. How do we feel about it?
I feel like I love this one. I know that you don't feel as strongly about this one as me. Not that you don't hate it. By any means.
I don't hate this at all, but it's more of a case of I just can't take it very seriously.
And that's because of a meme video you watched years ago. That's
yes.
Basically ruined this episode for you.
Yeah, well, that. And also just sort of like, it's not a very serious episode.
I mean, no, it's not like serious big stake episode.
No, but like, I do like it. I think it's well written. I think it's like a good story. Like, I don't,
I think it's like the best way I can describe this is like, it is filler.
But good filler.
But in like a top tier filler kind of way. I'm like, if you are going to do filler, this is how you do a filler episode to me.
I feel like I need to stress this. I'm like, I don't hate this episode. I don't even dislike this episode. I just don't take it seriously. However, I still have a fucking great time with it. I still really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm doing the summary this week. I haven't read this. You said it's a longer summary.
It's a little bit longer, yeah, but,
Okay, I'm going to have to go speedy voice. You've probably seen the episode already if you are listening to this, because why wouldn't you have done that? Go watch it. It's on BBC iPlayer for free.
So as if this is super horrible. That's a lie.
You've done that on purpose, haven't you?
No!
Have you done this? Are you sure?
Yes! I just kind of sort of changed it to the standard setting every time I have to write something.
This is your standard setting?
Yeah. I like it and it makes me happy and I don't want you to make me feel like a bad person.
Am I allowed to say what it is?
Yeah, I don't care because I'm not ashamed. Unlike you're trying to make me.
I'm not trying to make you ashamed. I'm just saying that Times New Roman size 12 double spacing is the perfect way to write anything ever.
Yeah. She a thing.
No, it is. It's correct.
She a thing, Mr. Stormlight Archive.
Tooth and Claw was written by Russell T Davies, you can tell, and directed by Euros Lynn. What's so funny? This aired on the 22nd of April, 2006, to audiences. A group of monks arrive at the Torchwood estate deep in the Scottish moors. Their leader, Father Angelo, played by Ian Hanmore, commandeers the house from its owner, Robert McLeish, who's played by Derek Riddell, in a show of martial arts. The monk then chain the rest of the inhabitants of the house in the basement and leave them there. Meanwhile, in the TARDIS, the Doctor and Rose make plans to go to Sheffield in 1979, but are surprised to exit the box and find themselves in the company of Queen Victoria, played by Pauline Collins, and her royal escort. Upon realising they've landed 100 years earlier in 1879, the Doctor assumes the fake identity of a Scottish doctor, James McCrimmon. The psychic paper reveals the Doctor as her assigned protector on the journey, and the group makes their way to the Torchwood estate where Victoria plans to spend the night. As the Doctor and Rose begin the journey, a bet is started between the two. Can Rose get Victoria to say, "I am not amused"? Back at the house, Sir Robert is blackmailed by Father Angelo to comply, or his wife will be devoured. Robert tries to dissuade Victoria from staying, however she insists as Prince Albert was a close friend of Sir Robert's father. On a tour of the house, the Doctor inspects the telescope, observing that it wouldn't be much good for stargazing. While Rose is searching for something to wear to dinner, she finds a hidden servant girl, Flora, played by Ruthie Milne, hidden in her wardrobe. She tells Rose what has happened, but before Rose can tell the Doctor, the pair are kidnapped and chained in the cellar with the others. At dinner, Sir Robert tells the group a story of werewolf sightings. He says his father believed this as fact. The monastery was against this, and Sir Robert poses the theory that the monks could have turned from God to worship the wolf. Father Angelo chants in Latin at the full moon, and the Doctor suggests the monks could be with them right now. In the cellar, Rose observes the man locked in the cage, played by Tom Smith. The mocap is done by Jeff Green. She asks what planet he's from, but he reveals the body he possesses is from Earth and was stolen by the monks. Details similar to the story Sir Robert was telling over dinner. While Rose tries to help, the man says that he will not leave and instead will bite the Queen Victoria to begin the Empire of the Wolf. The transformation begins and Rose assists the prisoners escape. Sir Robert apologises to the Queen for his betrayal, as the monks have been holding his wife, Lady Isabel, Michelle Duncan. While the Doctor and Sir Robert meet up with Rose and the other prisoners, Queen Victoria figures that the monks were responsible for the detour that brought her to the Torchwood estate. However, she is prepared and shoots Father Angelo. Trapped in the house of the werewolf on the loose, the women head to the kitchen and the Doctor and friends head upstairs. The women discover that the monks are wearing mistletoe around their necks, and that is why they're safe from the wolf. Upstairs, the walls of the library are treated with oil of mistletoe, keeping the Doctor and the gang safe for now. The Doctor suggests that Sir Robert's father knew this and puts together the monks' plan for the wolf, to use Victorian advancements in order to further the Empire. After Victoria reveals she's been travelling with the Koh-i-Noor diamond, I've never seen that before, the Doctor formulates a plan using the telescope. The wolf crashes the party, but is dissuaded by Lady Isabel, who attacks it with mistletoe. Sir Robert sends the women away and sacrifices himself in order to buy the Doctor more time. When the werewolf enters the observatory, the Doctor uses the diamond to redirect the moonlight as a weapon against the wolf. The telescope not being a telescope at all, but a light chamber. While caught in the light, the wolf asks the Doctor to make it brighter and end his life. The next day, the Doctor and Rose are given royal titles and banished from the Empire. The Queen does not approve of their lifestyle and cannot have it in her world, stating at last that she is not amused. On the way back to the TARDIS, the Doctor and Rose joke that the royal family are werewolves. However, at the Torchwood estate, Victoria is not in the mood for jokes and assures Lady Isabel that her husband's sacrifice wasn't in vain. She will establish the Torchwood Institute to combat these enemies and keep watch for the Doctor. Windy! This episode is fucking windy. It's so windy that ADR is twice
Somehow
used.
not as windy as New Earth, still.
Windy enough for ADR.
Yeah.
That's how I'm like, how windy is it? If ADR is used, very fucking windy.
Yes.
How do you feel about this episode then? In a more refined sense.
Like it?
I'm going to apologise already if this is a bit jittery. I'm coughing like hell and I'm trying to cut them all out. I think I know why I like this episode so much. And I said to you earlier that this episode was the one that I watched and I was like, okay, so not just aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that was like, hey, you can do... And Vampires in Venice doesn't count in this.
Yeah, no.
That's fish.
Yeah, it doesn't.
This is like actual... This is basically just a werewolf.
Well,
there's not much...
Even still, the fish are aliens.
Yeah. But even this is also alien in origin that we learn. But...
Yes.
You don't really get any of that. You normally just get regular werewolf rules.
I have a little thing about that. In a departure from the last week, I believe, I do have some trivia and little notes about the alien of the week. Just a few though. It was, you know, it was pretty slim pickings to be honest. But we've got some.
One. How do you feel about the phrase "fist of man"?
Yeah,
I didn't like it.
No,
I enjoy. I think this series in general, I find myself writing a lot more quotes in my book.
Oh, no, me too. I've got like a few for this episode especially.
I was like, I haven't changed the way that we do the show. I just find, in the last 2 weeks that there's been way more
Do you know
quotable
what
bits.
is a thing I've found just with doing the show in general?
What?
In regards to my note taking, sometimes I will just write down a line and I'll be like, let's just talk about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Instead of a specific note, I'll just be like, let's discuss this moment.
Because he says Fist of Man, and then we get like the most jarring fight in television history. What the fuck is happening
Yeah,
here?
Doctor Who goes all Cobra Kai never dies for a minute.
Like
at the beginning of this episode.
There's I don't even know how to describe how it's cut. It's just like man in the air, man on the floor, man in the air, man on the floor, man swing stick. It's done.
Apparently, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was one of the inspirations for the way that the monks do that. That and another film, which you're going to cut this silence while I find it. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Okay.
I knew it was something of the wolf, but I don't just want to guess at it.
Like this is like it's kind of like a really intense intro. But I think it's undercut to me that by the end, the gist of it was Bald Man want house.
Yeah.
Bald
and then Bald Man get house.
Bald Man get house.
Yeah.
Have keys? Thank you. And then that's it. He's got the house.
For me.
Just like reaches out like a child. Like,
yeah, grabby hands.
Can I have?
Mum says it's my turn on the house keys.
Another thing I don't understand, as we get like context going through, we see that people get locked up into this...
Into the cellar.
Into the cellar.
Yeah.
All before the titles roll. Then they take the drape off. We know it's just a man in a dressing gown in there right now.
Yeah.
Why do they all scream? Ah, it's a man in a cloak. I was watching it and I was like, that's just a guy to you.
Well, what if, I mean, okay, this is not what I think it is. This is just a what if. What if it's just, he's still the wolf, but he's like curled up, like sleeping or something,
Like wagging his little tail.
Yeah, I was trying to think of that in a way that like, what if he's mid-transformation or something, and then all I could picture
so
was like a
sorry
little
for the
sleeping
class.
dog, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not something to scream at either.
Yeah. Then the titles. Then fit check this week.
Also, sorry, I just want to say, titles, the scream fade into the titles from Lady Isabel.
yeah.
I like that. That's really good.
We do that a lot.
We do that a lot,
In
but
the
I just
show,
think
I
I think
think.
this one particularly is like a noteworthy one.
Oh, you don't do like, if we don't always get like a scream into the intro, we get a scream from off screen. The doctor looks away and he's like, run this way towards the scream, because he's just that kind of guy.
Yeah.
The doctor does his own fit check for Rose this week.
Yes. Okay. What do you think about this one? Because I think that solid, like top to bottom, another absolutely banger Rose outfit. She looks good. Her hair is done good. My only complaint is that I would have gone with a different boot, but like,
I did not pay attention to her feet. That's one like that's a your fetish thing. I'm just not into that.
listen, no, it's not like though, is it?
I mean, you don't have to be like ashamed of it. Like,
I
there's
don't-
so
no,
much
but
weirder things to be into.
I genuinely don't think I've ever mentioned anything like that to you. So I'm like, are you
Well,
gaslighting
no,
me about
I'm
it?
like, no, you haven't mentioned it on like the show. But I mean, we spoke about it. I don't feel like you've got a problem with putting it out there.
But what the fuck? Stop laughing at me.
I'm so sorry. I was like, maybe if it's serious, I can like convince.
The thing is,
Imagine if like you've never had a foot fetish, but then you leave today and you're like, maybe I've got a. Did Tyrese just convince me that I've got a
I
foot
need
fetish?
you
I'm
to
like,
know
yeah.
that I don't remember a lot of things. So, I'm here trying to genuinely remember any
And
time.
you're obsessed with your own high arches.
That I've
so
said-
let's,
Yeah, but that's my business.
Doctor says it's good to be a lunatic.
Yeah.
What? What on earth? What, really? Also, this opening scene with the TARDIS, I like it. This is how I imagine like home life TARDISes.
Yeah. This
And, like
is
this is the 90% of the TARDIS screen time that we don't see is them like just dicking around on
this
the
is
console
like
room.
this is like hangout time.
Yeah, and I think it's like a little bit corny, a little bit hammy, but I'm like,
Like
this is their casual, let their guard down inside the
yeah,
their
like
comfort zone.
it's very, very sweet, isn't it? Like, not in terms of the way
Yeah.
I like, oh, it's so sweet. Like in a way where it's like a bit, oh, look how sweet they are. Oh, so happy, that sort of thing. But like, I'm fine with it because they
Yeah.
just seem like they're having fun.
But
so
then
I can.
in passing, Rose is baffled by the idea of going to a concert. You watched the earth burn in your first visit away in this
Now you're
box.
just gonna go to a gig.
And someone's
Chill.
like, yeah, and someone's like, oh, Burning Man. And she's like, we can do that. Fucking, what do you think? You Daleks, you atomized a Dalek.
I would absolutely game the Doctor.
She would-
so hard for the ability to be able to go do
To any,
any gig,
yeah.
any show, any
Queen
event.
in their prime.
Is that
That
what
kind
you
of
would
thing.
do?
I think so. I think because I'm a big comedy fan. I would
You
love to
are.
go do stand-up comedy shows with him. But concert-wise, I don't know what I'd want to do. Oh, Rose would be going to see McFly.
How hard do you think she'd lose her mind over McBusted?
Oh my god.
Implying that they took off in the parallel universe.
Did they really? Busted.
What? No, I'm just
Busted.
saying, like, imagine if they did, like, assuming, because this is after 2005,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So,
Because obviously
I think
she's out of my league, and then Rose is just like, "Oh my god!" like crying in the crowd, fainting like a Michael Jackson audience member, and
It
the doctor's
was,
just like, "What the fuck?
McFly did have an appearance in Doctor Who, though,
What?
endorsing Harold Saxon.
Oh my god! Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm such a fool."
McFly canon. McFly and Little Mix canon in Doctor Who.
Then
Take that.
then they leave the TARDIS thinking that they're in a time that they're not in, which is just a thing that happens, I suppose.
Yep.
Isn't that how the Unquiet Dead happens too? If I recall.
Yes.
They were like,
'cause
"We're going to
they're
go this
supposed
time,"
to be- yeah.
and they go the wrong time. The Doctor does it again.
How do you feel about Rose doing the Scottish accent?
Never do it again.
I love the little
I like the
companions.
attempt.
I like the companions try and blend in bit. Like I
Yeah.
never think it's not like funny,
Right, we're back.
You're not doing anything to not irritate your
Yeah,
throat,
well, shut up.
That is doing nout for you.
Yeah,
you
I know, I wanna
need
cough
to
again.
have a soother.
The Doctor calls Rose a timorous beastie.
Yeah, he does.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
But he says it in a Scottish accent.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just
because he's
him.
Scottish.
Was this just them being like, "You have a break"?
Apparently, the plan was for both of them to do Scottish accents, but
The whole way
Yeah,
through.
but Billy Piper's was so bad that they were like, "Don't."
I mean, she tried to do a Scottish accent. It didn't really go well.
No, it didn't.
But that's what you get when you're a timorous beastie.
Oh, James McCrimmon, by the way. Do you know who that is?
No.
Jamie McCrimmon, who was a companion of the Second Doctor.
Oh, is that the name that he used?
Yeah, and he was Scottish.
Okay. You said, "Do you know what that is?" I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Classic
but I
Who.
don't know how much just like knowledge you just have about it.
Oh,
like
fucking
in
none.
general
about
like,
anything ever.
Oh, then I cannot wait.
Not even just
For
Doctor Who,
this.
just in general. I'm like,
Cannot.
oh no, when I tell you that I don't know a thing about Classic Who, I mean it.
This is so exciting. Like genuinely,
I know
so
that
exciting to
Sarah
me.
Jane was in it one time.
More than one time, actually.
What?
Whoa, I know.
She's gonna be in it more than once.
Mm.
I'm so excited.
I
now.
have at least 2 of her DVDs upstairs.
She's in a whole 2 DVDs.
Mm.
Yay! Compact discs. The Queen. Speaking of Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Does Queen Vicky look a little Liz Sladen-ish?
I did not think so at all.
I thought that she looked a little bit like Liz Sladen, but I think it was the eyes.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That's just you, man.
I was like, you look a little bit.
yeah, no,
similar vibe.
I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
Probably not. I'm probably also just a weird person. I'm like, yeah. Probably just, I think that they were probably around similar ages. Then I'm like, yeah, okay. But in terms of like historical figure lookalikes,
Really good.
holy shit.
Really good performance as well.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that with Dickens, I don't think, in
No,
Unquiet Dead.
but I think we sort of generally came to the consensus that he is a very good Charles Dickens, and I feel the
Yeah.
same way about Victoria in this episode. I think she's a good Queen Victoria.
I think she's up there with Nixon in
Yeah.
Impossible
Ooh,
Astronaut.
yes.
That one's really good. I know
Mhm.
they had a fake nose for him.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh's also great. Churchill, I think, is good.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Churchill.
Who was it? Oh my god, I cannot remember the woman's name.
Episode?
It was from Flux.
Oh no.
So God knows
Rosa
I
Parks?
can't. No, not Rosa Parks.
No, Rosa Parks wasn't in Flux. I'm a fucking idiot.
No,
My brain, by the way, when we get there, my brain has deleted Flux. I could not tell you a thing that happened in Flux.
me too, which is why I'm gonna have.
It was that's how bad
I
Flux
remember
is.
it was the episode with the Sontarans.
I'm sorry for people who enjoy Flux. I'm really glad that you find something in there, but I just don't. Maybe I'll think differently when we get back around to it. The thing that that line that I was telling you
Mary C. Cole.
about. Oh, I don't know who that is, but okay.
Oh no, that was a very good performance as well. I thought.
Oh, excellent. I like all of Queen Victoria's parts in this episode. She's excellent. She's also the butt of a joke, which is like a little bit rude. Queen Victoria, by the way, she was just sitting there like a stamp.
Like a stamp.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you reckon if you lick her?
Stick to the wall.
Do you reckon if you if you lick her and slap her, will she travel at like first class level speeds, just through the air, just There she goes. Queen Vicky.
What was that? Oh, it was Victoria.
That's Victoria's Secret right there, baby.
This is where Rose and the Doctor start a little bet here.
Yeah, on whether or not they can, or whether it's mainly Rose who's like, I wanted to say that I am not amused.
Yeah, and the thing is, Rose tries so hard.
I counted.
Oh, did you? How many?
I think there is.
You can't say I counted and then follow up with I think.
Well, there was 4 attempts, and then I was gonna say if you consider the final when she actually says it, but that's not really an attempt. She just says it anyways.
Says it, yeah.
So the 5 total if you count that as an attempt at the end, but I don't. So I'm like, there's 4 attempts, and then she actually says it at the end.
Yeah.
Which is great. So I like the first 3 are in rapid succession, and then she tries it again at the end at the most inappropriate moment.
Yeah,
and
right.
the Doctor's like, fucking no, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
No, it's when she's like, I'm not amused, and Rose is like, oh yeah, and then she's like, not remotely amused, and Rose is proper like, oh sorry,
oh shit,
oh fuck, I've upset Queen Victoria.
My mum says we can go out and kill a werewolf if your mum says we can go out and kill a werewolf.
So they go along. The
Bald
Doctor
man.
and Rose go along.
Then Bald Man.
Yeah,
Bald Man
to the Torchwood Estate.
The Torchwood Estate.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Torchwood Estate. I barely know her.
What? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know.
Torchwood Estate. Well, seasons 3 and 4 are. I think I've heard not good things about seasons 3 and 4.
Torchwood.
Yeah, mainly 4.
Season 3 of Torchwood is the best Doctor Who piece of media possibly ever.
Outside of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Including Doctor. It's better than Doctor Who.
It's so good though.
Was that Children of Earth?
Yeah, Children of Earth is a widely considered to just be one of the best pieces of sort of Doctor Who related media that
That's
exists.
Cool. Here's the Bob man is scarier than the wolf. I don't care. I'm gonna say it. Man looks like a light bulb, and it's terrifying.
Well, I mean, we go from nuns last week to fucking monks this week, so we're really doing a full roundup.
Yeah, but this dude's actually terrifying. If this dude was, when he's doing his little stare down out the window, if I walked past the house and I just sort of locked eyes with him, I wouldn't know whether or not I was allowed to carry on walking. I'd be like, do I how long?
Firing a rifle at your feet.
Yeah, I'm like, how long? Dance.
Do you think that it makes him scarier because immediately from the start of this episode that he's he's like John
dude.
Kreese levels of fucking karate bad man?
I don't think it's the karate skill. I just think in general, his scowl could move.
He's got a mean face.
Yeah, he could move tectonic plates. He's so aggressive. Furrowing his brow causes earthquakes on the other side of the planet. It's really rude of him, actually. Then Rose gets called a feral child.
Yeah, she does. A feral child, a timorous beastie.
That's true.
She's naked.
She is naked. She's not naked.
No.
But she is naked.
Yeah.
But she's not.
So when they arrive at the Institute,
yeah,
because the monks want Victoria there.
They do. They want.
However,
old Vicky.
Sir Robert is trying to dissuade them from staying a little bit, knowing the intention.
Yeah.
And I think Queen Victoria asks something about his wife, and he says she's gone to Edinburgh for the season. She's taken the cook. The kitchens are barely stocked.
Trying to
to get her away. But I'm like, why would you be staying there then? Why would anyone be here? Also, not to take this to sort of a sexist place, because I don't mean it like that. But in what year is this? 1879?
1879, yep.
Would men have cooked?
Maybe with you.
For themselves? Haha.
Sorry.
Haha. Because sort of I assume that if his wife was gone, I mean, would the cook stay there?
I mean, some men obviously will have fended for themselves.
Yeah, but I'm that's... I think if anything, obviously not to Queen Victoria, but that just makes it sound way more suspicious.
Yeah. It's
if I was the Doctor, I'd be like, oh, okay, now I have more questions.
Well, the Doctor just psychic papers his way in, and not even in a normal way. Does she work past it, by the way?
What do you mean?
Because the psychic paper shows you whatever the Doctor wants it to show you, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
and then Queen Victoria's like, it says this, and the Doctor's like, it does? Oh, yeah, sure.
This is one of those where he's surprised, because it says that he's her protector.
Yeah, and I can only assume it's a low-level psychic thing where she's just a little bit more on the ball than other people. And so it alters what it says but doesn't change it completely.
Maybe. I mean, whatever it is, I'm fine with it. I like the idea.
Queen Victoria's Professor X confirmed.
Yeah, I like the idea that Queen Victoria can just do a To Me, My X-Men and,
I'm a werewolf now. they got the observatory thing, which is shit. It's great foreshadowing.
Oh yes, it is, isn't it?
Because it's a shit telescope. It's bad. Too many prisms.
Mm.
Too many. 7.8. Too many prisms. Not enough water. Too many prisms.
How do you think it looks CGI wise? By the way,
I think it looks okay. It's clearly an image. Just popped on.
I think that you can really notice it. You know, when they do the exterior shots of the house, and you can kind of see it sticking out the like this sort of little thing. It looks worse then, but it doesn't look so bad right here. I'm fine with it.
A very CG heavy episode.
It is,
and it's not even in like a. Oh, look, a bit of CG. It's like they have the whole bad
CGI
guy is motion
creature,
capped, which is more difficult.
And the thing is, I think that like, I mean, let's be real. The wolf looks good by like 2006
hell
standards.
Yeah. That transformation looks fucking gruesome.
Yeah. So like
the cheekbone snap and the shoulder. I'm like,
do
more.
Because the CGI on the wolf is so good. I am okay
with the rest.
With the rest of it looking a bit shit. Because let's be real, if that wolf had looked shit,
this episode would have lost so much.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's no fire in the windows at the end of Unquiet Dead, is it? It's not quite.
What would be?
This appears in the TARDIS.
This appears in the TARDIS?
This telescope, I think it's in Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, is just in a room in the TARDIS.
Oh, okay. You know what? This sounds like a thing.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah,
no one knows why. But I saw it on Twitter. Someone had tweeted out and was like, did we ever get an answer as to why the Doctor has this? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, did he go back and get it? I mean, what's the assumption here?
Well, I imagine, you know how they do that whole bit, because it's a Matt Smith thing in it, how they do this whole bit where it's like, the Doctor likes to keep score. Maybe he went back to a museum that this telescope was in, and then he went, yoink.
Oh, just a little bit off topic, but kind of on topic, since Matt Smith thing. I figured out, because I love him as a Doctor, but I think that a lot of his stories get quite weak towards the end, and I think I know why.
Yes. Why?
I will talk more on it when we get there, but that won't be for a long time, as we have discovered recently.
Wait, drop a foreshadow.
No. I know we won't get there for a long time, so I will say, I think Stephen Moffat had one, maybe two stories to tell, like long stories, and then really was like, I don't know what to do. What if I just keep threatening to kill the Doctor? What if death, like, because he does, he's just like,
what if this man just dies?
Season 6, Death of the Doctor. The whole season's arc is he has to come to terms with dying.
Yeah.
And then season 7, it's like, well, I don't know what to do with Amy and Rory now. I told their story what I wanted to do. Let's just get rid of those. And then it's like, now what do I do? We threaten to kill the Doctor again and again. Like the Trenzalore thing, I'm like, we've already done this killing the Doctor thing, which is why
in terms of mortal
me.
peril, the 11th Doctor seems to remain in it.
And what's the point? Because we know this show's got... The entire regeneration is a way to give a show longevity for more than its star can go on for. So what's the point in being like, what if we just keep threatening him? It's like, yeah, well, we will hear in the news.
Well, especially, you know, the whole like Time Lords only have 12 regenerations ever,
which is dumb.
Thing. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Who believed that this actually, you know, sort of was going to be a thing with a show that made money?
I just want to say he did tell Clyde that it was 511.
Yeah, he did.
That's how many times he said he could regenerate, and I took that as gospel. Because I was like, the fucking, I don't know, 11, 12, I was like, yes.
I can't wait for series like 512.
No, I was 10.
I can't wait for season 512 when the show just ends for good.
Yeah. And it's like, that's it. We did it. Anyway, back to this.
Queen Victoria, by the way.
Yep.
I'm tired of nakedness.
You shouldn't be, hun.
Great line.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool lines in this. Here's something that I think is a very difficult thing to do acting-wise. Mm. David Tennant does it perfectly. His accent slips every now and then, which means you're a Scottish man playing someone with, like, you know, is it Southern or Northern London? One of the two. It's a, you know, Southish accent of England. So you're a Scottish man doing an English accent.
But doing like a specific English accent as well.
Yeah, who is then imitating a Scottish accent, but it's not quite David Tennant Scottish though. It is clearly the
classic Scottish, right? Like
of like what you and your mates do at the pub when you're imitating Scottish people.
Yeah,
it's that. Granted to a perfect extent, but then it slips back to Doctors. I'm like, right, you're a Scottish man impersonating an English man impersonating a Scottish man.
Well,
that
an
English
exaggerated Scottish man.
Yeah, and then the English man underneath the exaggerated Scottish man isn't wholly there. So sometimes you hear a word that is just spoken in you know, the Doctor's voice, and I was watching it and I was like, that's such a difficult thing to do. I think one of Mel Blanc, who is like Looney Tunes, all those voices, one of the things that he would do as a vocal warm-up, but also as an exercise to himself, he would do characters impersonating other characters. So he would do Bugs Bunny if Bugs Bunny was doing a Daffy Duck impression, as if Bugs Bunny was taking the piss out of Daffy Duck, and then you combine those voices, but also the mannerisms, and it's like a really weird thing.
The actual voice
And
impression and also the character impression.
That's so insane. What the fuck? Who's trying to do that?
Talented people are really talented.
God, I wish that were me.
One day.
Some lines in this I think also should be cheesy, and just aren't.
Yeah.
So British Jeremy Piven at one point says, "It's just a story," and the doctor goes, "Tell it then." And I'm like, ooh, that could read quite cheesy sometimes, but I just think it's delivered so well that I'm like, that shit's baller. That line goes so hard.
Line that goes hard.
Yeah. It's just a story. Tell it then. Oh fuck. I'll tell you anything, David Tennant. I'll tell you anything.
Actually,
there's a full moon tonight. Maybe Rose and her nakedness.
There's so anyway, is this roundabout where Rose gets taken out?
Yeah. Rose finds a maid in the cupboard.
Yep.
She's like, "Oh, the maid in the cupboard. Come out of the closet." Maid comes out of the closet. Then she has a maid in the bed, and I'm like, "Where's this going? Oh, kidnapping.
Rose.
Never mind."
Yeah, it's a really good job that, like, for this situation, the monks decided we'll just do the old hand over the mouth from behind trick. We're not going to pull out the karate on them. Yeah, we're not gonna give them the Terry Silver special, you know.
You're just gonna go. Look, right? You gotta go Cobra Kai on these bitches.
They're going, if a man can't breathe, he can't fight. You know, like on this.
What?
Dude, we're doing a Karate Kid at some point. Cause
I've never seen.
Holy shit, man!
I think I've seen.
Unreal.
I think I've seen the first like original Karate Kid like years and years and years ago, and then nothing else.
Yeah,
so I don't remember a thing of it.
Karate Kid, work of art, genius, not a single complaint. Karate Kid 2, you know, not as good as the original, but still a very good follow-up, a good extension of the story, doesn't feel forced. Third Karate Kid film, you know, like, things happen in that movie, and it's fucking insane. It's insane, you know, whatever.
When they're at the dinner table, because Rose at this point is being kidnapped, and she's, you know what? It's one of the bits where Rose is, you know, doctor trained. Yeah. So she is like, okay, so you're not from Earth. And then, you know, starts confessing. But then back at the dinner table, Queen Victoria gives, like, a really good theological speech.
Do you know what she does
about the beyond
this,
and all that kind of stuff?
Before this, they say that Rose is delayed. Like, the monks come in and say that Rose is delayed because she's, like, still trying to find something to wear. And the doctor is like, "Oh, save her a wee bit of ham."
Yeah.
And then Queen Victoria goes, "The feral child could probably eat it raw."
I mean, you can eat ham slices
but
raw.
That's another Billy Bear ham.
Don't get mean.
Queen Victoria's eating Billy Bear ham.
Right, don't tell me you've never gone into the fridge and just gone, handful of ham, I'm having that.
Oh, absolutely.
Every day.
Do you think that I wouldn't?
Judging by the smell of your hands. Put your hands on the table at the pub and I'm like, why are your hands so smelly?
Please stop. I can deal with a lot of things.
But you don't want hammy meat
fingers. I don't want sweaty ham hands. Like,
I didn't mention sweaty.
I think it just goes hammed in hammed with the analogy, doesn't it?
I hate you. I was going to say clahammy, but it's so much worse that you said hammed in hammed. And for that, you deserve to have hammy hands.
I'll deal with a lot of shit being talked about me, but that's where I draw the line.
Your scruffy little pork fingers, I can't be...
Oh, don't you think you're funny?
No, I just think you're hammy, and it's doing my head in.
I'd never do anything like this to you. On the internet. I'd never do that to you.
Not even honey roasted, like Sainsbury's Basics level, 18 slices in a 70p packet. And the little film plastic on top, you go to peel it, but like only one layer of the plastic comes off and you're like, oh, well, fuck me, I can't even have any ham. Because I've ripped the peely and I haven't ripped the peely properly. So because I haven't ripped the peely properly, I can't eat no ham.
Mate, if I'm ham, what the fuck are you?
Can't peel the peely properly, don't have any peely properly problems. That hurt to do.
I was just expecting you to go immediately.
I've got a horrible cough. I don't know what's going on.
Do you know what I think is funny as
Night
well?
Wolf in this episode.
Literally. No, so like while Rose is in the basement,
yes,
she's talking to the wolf. Because he's never given a name. He's just referred to as the host.
I've written Wolf Boy. I've just put Wolf Boy's voice always creeps me out. It's such a like, oh, fuck off, skin crawly voice.
Yeah, it's horrible to be fair.
Moonlight, and I'm like, fuck off, man. That can get to fuck. That's
the thing is, I think it's partly because it's in the like legend of the wolf.
Yeah,
that is being talked about. They say how, you know, it will like steal a boy from the local village or something like that. And I think it's that it kind of still sounds like childish. There's like a childlike quality.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah. Like almost like the Candyman. Yeah, it's a good performance. Even though it's only like 5 minutes, but I'm like, you are terrifying in that cage.
But yeah. So that, you know, basically the information that he is revealing to Rose is lining up exactly with the information that Sir Robert is saying upstairs. That
and
was
you get the back
yeah,
and
like
forth,
the story that his father believed in. But at one point they say something about a child going missing.
Mm-hmm.
Robert says something about a child going missing, and someone says something else about how, like, could it be like a wolf killing sheep or something killing sheep. And
kills a chicken or whatever.
Yeah, and then that's where they say,
livestock.
yeah, that's when they say, like, sometimes a child goes missing. A regular earth wolf could also still kill a child, though.
That's true.
Like, this is not, I mean, obviously the guy turns out to be right, not to discredit his dead dad or anything.
But
like,
I would
a wolf
sooner
could kill a child.
Yeah, I would sooner chop it up to be like, oh, it's a wolf that did this, than be like,
gotta be a space werewolf,
it's
man.
gotta be a space guy turning into a space wolf thing.
Like, at what age do you think, if you are like a little boy in the Victorian era, at what point do you think that a wolf wouldn't be able to kill you? And then we can work out how old.
I don't want to get into this. I want to be like, hey, how old? I mean, I think a wolf could kill me now, and I'm 23. Like, I'll just be like, oh shit, you got me, and that would be my entire and I'm like, oh shit, you got me, and that's it. He's like just gnawing on me, and I'm like, yeah.
If it came up to you, you wouldn't be like, sit, like, no, down.
I have big nostalgia for this episode. I think that, like I said, this is the one that made me go, oh, they can do like anything. It's not just aliens; they can do whatever. So there are certain lines that stick out to me, and like delivery wise, like pitch perfectly. I'm like, there's a rhythm to these things, and they are stuck in my head like songs.
Oh, yeah.
The first one here is when the wolf says, when the doctor, Scottish, over the table is like, oh, werewolf. I'm like, yeah, say it again. And then when the Scottish dude's like, moonlight, I'm like, oh, that's skin crawly. That's like stuck in my brain.
When he says to Rose that she has something of the wolf about her.
Yeah.
She burns like the sun, but he requires only the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Rose gets an opportunity to be a bit doctory here, much in the same way that Clara does later on. But
you like this one infinitely more.
No, I think it feels more natural. I think it feels more natural, and I could like go on about
for Rose to do it. Yeah,
just in the way that she does it. Because here's the thing: this is like my sort of theory, I guess.
Yeah,
that I'm kind of like presenting to you now in real time as I'm thinking it. But it feels like every time that Clara is having like a doctor moment, you say, you know, if you like, if you want to refer to it like that, it feels like she's very much more like, look at me, I'm the cleverest person in the room, hoo, much like the way the doctor does, which is why it feels false. However, when Rose is doing this now, it still feels very much like Rose. It feels like she's doing it because she's learnt it from the doctor.
Yeah, like application of knowledge type stuff.
Yeah, not like she's trying to imitate the doctor. And that's why I feel this feels more natural. And to be fair to Clara, that is the one part of her storyline that I like at all.
Really?
We'll get into it later, obviously. But
2 years from now, judging by our schedule that we looked up.
But like, if anyone ever wants to call me a fucking hypocrite about it, then like, this is my explanation. This is my reason why I don't really mind Rose doing it, but I fucking hate Clara doing it, man.
Another thing that I really want to touch on. Oh my god, the music in this episode.
So fucking good.
Fucking phenomenal.
Murray Gold.
Like, if we talk about our favorite season 2 tracks, this is like up there. Like, oh my god, it might be like my set. This and Doomsday are very close. Like, I can't even. They might be shared number 1.
Hey, when we do a little confidential, we should do a music wrap up.
I was thinking that for season 1, and then I was like, the season 1 and 2 music is in like the same compilation.
Yeah,
it's a bit weird how they handled that one
as well. I feel like obviously season 1 has a lot of very good music in it too. But I feel like from this point on, this is when we really start like getting
ramp up to
into it. Yeah,
and Murray Gold does a very good job at Tennant's music feeling a certain way, like
yeah.
RTD's versus Moffat's, like even though he composed both,
I mean,
feeling very different.
9 and 10 are very similar.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's a bit of, like, retroactively, I think it's a bit of a snub to 9.
Well, but I think that 9 has, like, a lot more percussive, like, almost war-like
music, yeah.
warrior music going on.
It's just that the
battle cries and shit.
The Doctor's theme from season 1, which obviously is Ninth Doctor, and then the sort of other one they do, which is also just called the Doctor's theme season 4, they're very similar.
Yeah.
And it just kind of feels like they're built on the one they already had instead of creating a new one, but that's fine. But they all feel very different, and that's good.
Then they open the big floodlights for the moon, go, and he's like, moon, like, he says the thing, he says it, I'm like, oh, I remember you saying that.
Say it again.
I remember you saying that thing, and then it gets windy again.
It does.
The wind comes back. Recurring villain, the wind. In the UK, at least.
You know that the episode of Sunny, fucking, what is it when the gang makes Lethal Weapon 7, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And the fucking big wave is
yeah.
like the villain.
The big CGI like green screened wave. Yeah.
Yeah. Body horror points to Doctor Who this week for this transformation. Very, very upsetting.
The sound design and the scream, like the crunching of bones, and then his little screaming is the way his cheeks go. I'm like,
even the visualization of it is horrible, actually, because there is some jerky movement in there, and
it's very snappy.
General unpleasantness.
And is this our first the Doctor? Maybe at least for Tennant doing it, seeing something absolutely horrific and then being like, "That's gorgeous."
Yeah,
that is.
Yep.
Magnificent. And there's a lot of, like, because I feel like 9 does that. Does 9 ever do that?
I don't think it's necessarily with monsters. I think it's just sort of like two things he doesn't.
I think he has like an overall enthusiasm about him, but 10 specifically for the way things are biologically composed, he's like, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, what did nature do to create something like this? I need to know. So not only is it like, ooh, compliment, you know, body positivity for all these monsters, except for the Absorbloff, I guess, because he's just like,
hey.
You upset my mum.
Hey.
You upset Billy Pepper's mum.
Rose gets to work with the chain again here. She loves the chain.
Just a pull.
Pulling
just
off the
pull.
wall, yeah.
She does quite a lot of work with chains, doesn't she?
She does.
Rose, and at the end of season 1 too, she gets a chain on that van.
Yeah, she does her best work when there's a chain around.
Me too. No, no.
Whoa.
It's too easy. The Queen absolutely ices Bald Man.
Doesn't she?
Oh, she's just like, ha, bang.
The correct address is Your Majesty.
Boom. And just shoots him.
Dead.
Just shoots. And he's like, doesn't even flinch because he's scary and bald.
Yeah.
Bald, scary men don't flinch.
He takes that bullet like a champ.
You'll take this bullet and you'll enjoy it. Okay.
Queen Victoria is packing heat. Don't you get in her way.
Then the POV shot comes back. We're back with POV shots. We didn't have any last episode. I don't. Oh no, we did. Little robot spider.
Robot spider, yeah.
I guess. But like, I don't. It's fine.
This is stylized. It technically is, yeah. But this is cool. I like that they do it in sort of like. I mean, I know that dogs don't see in black and white. I know that's like more of a myth. It's just like a sort of a limited range of color. But I like that it is black and white because it's a wolf.
It's not black. It's like a bluish tint.
Yeah,
right?
but it's like, you know, you can't see color. Like it's sort of.
I like that it's shot high up. I'm like, that is where he would be.
Yeah, because it's
so
like,
good.
Like what? Like would you say like 8 or 9 feet tall? Like.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have easily been like he's hunched over and like running on all fours, and then you know you have it in the middle still to get a mid shot. But they were like, this dude's fucking huge, and he is. The design of this thing made me go like, oh, like you can do the shit like this on TV.
The physicality of that wolf is insane as well, in the way that like I don't believe it's a person necessarily doing motion capture. It just feels like this is how a wolf moves. I imagine there was like a lot of choreography going into that, like you know, with Planet of the Apes and that kind of thing. Yeah,
they've got like the half crutches and they all.
Yeah, they got to like study the way the animals move and shit.
Yeah, they had like ape technicians and shit to do like the chest out walk with the arms swinging behind the back. I saw
a video a while ago where a guy was like walking it through. It's really interesting.
For this or for Planet of the Apes?
No, for Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Or like monkeys in general, just like doing motion capture for monkeys, the way that like, you know, they all have slightly different styles of moving and like presenting themselves. Yeah. It's really interesting.
All like BTS creature stuff, not like not the K-pop BTS behind the scenes.
Not those bulletproof Boy Scouts.
There is a. By the way, Queen comes down the stairs.
Yes.
All 4 members. They come down the stairs, and the Queen's like, there can't be an actual wolf. And then the wolf howls, and I'm like, that's comedic timing. This wolf.
I have a note here that says the wolf's comedic timing is perfect.
That's what I wrote too. I'm like, he knew. Wolf was like, listen, go to raise a sharp ears.
Wait for it.
Oh. And then he's like, hell yeah.
Oh, isn't there like another moment later with the steward where he says something after, because like at one point the wolf tries to escape, and then all the monks are stationed outside with like rifles, and they sort of like shoot at it to get it to go back inside.
Yeah.
And the steward is like, oh, it must have crawled away to die. And then the wolf just fucking like yanks
from
him
the
up
top. Yeah.
and just starts tearing him to shreds.
The,
and
the old
doctor
fella from the beginning.
Yeah, the doctor hits it with there's nothing we can do.
And then just walks away. I mean, yeah. At that point, yeah.
There isn't.
You've been Spider-Man. That's it. You've been taken down from the top. You got thwipped. you just got thwipped, bitch. You got missile thwipped. End of. So... When
Miles Morales game's looking pretty different.
Whoa, Insomniac Spider-Man 2 looks insane. Is that Tony Todd's character?
Whoa!
He's like, yes. And you're like, oh, Candyman. Yes, please do.
The fucking wolf is what Craven the Hunter's coming after. I'll sleep well with that thing's wall upon my hide. Wait.
Sure, try again.
No.
Okay.
No, just do one.
I'm not as stink as you drunk I am. So another big nostalgic line in terms of like how it's delivered is when the doctor turns around, he's like, bullets can't stop it.
Yes.
I'm like, yes. I'm like,
that was in the trailers.
in the next time.
Yeah.
I'm like, great delivery. Do it all the time, please. I love that. Then the dude in red, Pornotash. I don't know any of their names. I'm so sorry. I've got British Jeremy Piven, Queen Vicky, and Pornotash, which I know is not good of me. I understand I have my faults. The dude who you didn't add to the death counter by mistake.
Oh, well, I've just closed the death count now, haven't I?
Him. I've forgotten his name. It doesn't matter. That's who they say it to. And that's when they're going into the room. You know, the big library room.
Yeah.
The big library place with a dome. It's got like a dome glass window on the top. And I'm like, why do you need that?
It's got a skylight.
Do you need that though? Do you need that? And British Jeremy Piven, by the way, fucking forgot how many doors were in that room. Doctor goes, is that all the doors? And he goes, yeah. No! What do you mean?
All I could think about in that scene at that minute is, in like the Scooby-Doo movie where Scooby and Shaggy go off on their own to try and look for clues. The second Scooby-Doo movie.
And they
obviously.
find the panel.
Yeah, the superior one. And no, it's before that when like they're getting chased by the Black Knight ghost and they like run away from him and they're grabbing all the furniture in the room to stack it against the door, and then there is a side door they haven't blocked and the Black Knight ghost is stood there like holding out a stool, and they're just like, oh cool.
Oh yeah, and then he hands it to them.
Yeah, and then they do the whole like classic cartoon turnaround. Oh no,
zoinks, and then they fuck off out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that's what this was like bringing to mind.
Imagine they do that and the wolf's just there with like a big chair. And he's like,
just sort of like arms folded, hip cocked, just like waiting.
Ooh, hip cocked.
Oh.
It's almost like you want this wolf to be in some sort of, I don't know, sexual position. Why you gotta mention the hips?
It's a position.
Okay.
To stand in, by the way, to stand in. I want to make that really clear.
It's a vertical position. Doctor does a gay joke.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier when you were watching it. What the fuck is that?
Right.
By the way,
let's find it. Because I know for a fact.
What's around it in the script?
Shit, you're right. Give us a moment. We'll find this this little gay joke. Cause I unless I'm wrong, but I just think it. I think it is. We found it. We found it.
So oh, okay. Sorry, one sec. There we go. Yeah, so they get into the library. Everyone's now on the same page. Robert's father was right. And Robert turns to Queen Vicky. And he says, I'm sorry, Mom. It's all my fault. I should have sent you away. I tried to suggest something was wrong. I thought you might notice. Did you think there was nothing strange about my household staff? And then the doctor says, well, they were bald, athletic, your wife's away. I just thought you were happy. Which,
come on.
Yeah,
come
that's
on.
a little
Little, you know,
A little fruity.
it's a bit like, oh, your wife's away, cheat on her with all your staff, with every one of your staff. Take turns.
You know, all of these like these
These mistletoe. We're going full moose knuckle in this house.
Oh, like all
Sorry.
all these like, you know, bald dudes who
All
are
of
just
them?
chilling in your house. Yeah, because there's a few monks, right? Like I think
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like count how many there was at the start, but you know, there's enough.
Didn't mention the maids though, did he? He only mentioned the bald dudes.
Counting Father whatever.
Yep, Octavian.
Yeah, counting Father Octavian. There's 10 monks, and then they specifically have a cart driver too. They're part of the uncredited cast of this episode.
Tell me that you are okay, right?
Yeah, no, it was. I didn't count them. It was just on.
No, I mean like the Father Octavian thing.
Yeah, no, you're correct. That's right, Father Octavian.
No, it's not.
No, it's Father Angelo. Sorry. Well,
I said it, and I was hoping you would click onto me being a dumbass about Father Octavian from.
yeah, I thought you were
Time of
just,
Angels
yeah,
and
I
Puffin
thought you were
Stone.
just doing like a reference. Isn't that someone? He's an actor.
Yeah, he was in Game of Thrones. And
Yeah,
stuff.
it's Jorah Mormont, right?
I don't know. It's fine.
The sexiest man on that whole show, Jorah Mormont.
Really?
Yeah.
You've got some. It's fine. I've never paused myself so quickly in my life.
There's
Oh,
one
fucking
part,
hell.
by the way, of that show where he's going to kill himself. Like,
Because he can't be with Daenerys.
no, because he's got like he's got a disease
Okay.
basically that will. It's pretty much instant death, and you're supposed, if you have this, you know, you get shipped away, but they've said to him, hey, like, because you are a knight, we'll leave you the option, you know, to do what you will. And the
Yeah.
implication is kill yourself, right? And there's like a shot where he's sat at a desk and he's writing what is obviously
Like a suicide note.
a suicide note, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he like looks at the sword and he goes to the note and he starts it with Khaleesi. And I think that's so funny that he's writing a fucking suicide note. And he starts it with the word Khaleesi. Feel free to cut all of that, by the way.
It's
That
fine.
added just nothing to this fucking show. Jeez.
10 is then rude on purpose because he has a problem with being rude in this episode. And he's like, that one was on purpose. You
Call
can keep
back
that one.
to Christmas Invasion, apparently.
Am I being rude?
Yeah, when it apparently
Yeah.
I didn't get that until
Well, yeah, because he's like, am I rude now? Is that who I am?
Yeah,
Ooh.
I did just that went over my head until this viewing. So there you go. You learn
Mhm.
something new about Doctor Who every day.
Every day about Doctor Who. Something
Every single day.
about New Who. By the way, if anyone's going to get this far into an episode, I have a question. Why the fuck do people on Twitter and in the Doctor Who space write New Who, N-U?
It's like new metal though.
That's
what
a
you
that's a
refer to.
brand of notebook, I'll have you know, and I'm not having it, okay? N-E-W, it's one extra letter you can put in the effort.
Yeah.
Twitter was upped. It's not just the few characters that we used to have, we've got more now.
Rose in the library.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
So-
They're hunting for books.
So at first, she receives a book and she goes, "Look up biology, zoology. There might be something on wolves," which, you know, I suppose, yeah, okay,
Correct, yeah.
she's thinking along the right lines there. And then afterwards, she says, "A book on magic," as if that would do some help. And all I can think of is that bit in Journey's End where the Doctor's stopping Jackie from flying the TARDIS.
No, just stop it. Just
Yeah,
stop it
but
now.
like
Yeah.
it's Rose trying to just read a book.
I'm going to stick up for her.
Yeah.
There's a fucking werewolf, Katie! There's a fucking, it's bipedal. It's
Okay,
gone from
listen.
right? It's on its legs. It's crawling. It's seeing blue. I don't know fucking why, but it is. Okay, it's in the big. It's in the house, and it won't go through the door because it's got mistletoe in the door. But it's not because
Yeah.
there's mistletoe. But he's
Oiled into the walls.
Ooh, right. So Rose goes, look up magic. That's not outlandish. There's a fucking werewolf. It's like, oh no, we need to get away from this wolf. They turn around and Queen Victoria's in the corner and they're like, oh my god, what's happened? Is she dying? They hear like this clicking sound. They're like, oh my god, she's foaming from the mouth.
Dice.
She's rolling dice.
She's rolling dice.
She's like, Doctor, roll for initiative, quick.
Oh, not one.
Oh no.
Aw.
Critical failure.
Oh.
Critical failure.
So after
Also, right? Sorry. We have modern day people that charge up rocks with the moon, which dumb by the way. So, and Rose would, you know, she would be a crystal girly. You know she would.
think?
Oh, 100%. She'd be like, I need to charge my crystals in my moon piss. And we'd be like, okay, Rose, you go do that. What even is this rock? And she'd go, I don't know, but I found it at the seaside and I need to put it in the garden, in the water for the moon piss.
You put your rose quartz that's good things, I think.
I don't care.
Like, no, I don't know anything about crystals either.
I hope you're happy with your crystals. I genuinely have nothing against it.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
you know,
like, if that's your vibe, then cool, good for you. It's just not mine.
I approach it with my, like, view on any belief system where I'm like, you know, I agree with your right to it as long as you agree with my right to take the piss out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think they are, like, pretty, though.
Oh, yeah, they look
like,
nice.
I think, because that's, like, you know, my pal.
I just don't believe in the power.
Yeah, it's like my pal is a crystal girly, but very much in the way that just, like, I like them. They're just cool rocks. That's the thing. We were talking about it last night, actually.
I don't want to see her ever again.
Like, she showed me, like, a tour of her room once. She's got, like, fucking loads of crystals, but just, like, as decorations.
Oh, she doesn't believe in the power of them.
No. She just thinks they're cool rocks.
Thing.
Yeah,
that's fine.
And that, like, I was like, I agree. That's exactly how I feel about them.
Oh my god, Queen Victoria's a crystal girly.
Speaking of shiny rocks, Queen Victoria pulls out a fucking Chaos Emerald.
She starts glowing yellow and goes super Vicky.
You heard Super Rose.
The wolf bursts in at the end and scratches her and she spits out a bunch of rings. Like, she coughs them up, like, they're just everywhere.
That's the joke that I thought we would both make, by the way.
A Chaos Emerald joke.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm annoyed that I missed it.
That's the one that I thought you are definitely going to say that. And I was in my mind, it was going to be a race to who, you know, could say it first.
Then Eggman shows within Nick and he's like in his little floaty egg thing and he's like, Sonic! And I'm like, oh shit. Fuck. God, imagine if the doctor knew. Oh my god, imagine if she pulls out the diamond and she's like, it's this diamond. And the doctor like turns around to Rose and he's like, it's a fucking Chaos Emerald. Do you think that
the wolf has to go do a bonus stage?
Do you think the doctor could just trick Rose into believing anything? He's like, this is a Chaos Emerald, and Rose is like, from Sonic, it's based on real things.
Do you think that Rose would know what Sonic was in the first place, though?
Yes.
Because I feel like Chaos Emerald it sounds like a space thing. So, like, you know, I feel like...
No, I reckon that Rose...
Do you think... What do you think Rose's favourite Sonic game is? Who do you think is her favourite Sonic character?
One, I think her favourite Sonic game is Sonic 2, because everyone's favourite Sonic game
is
Sonic 2.
And her favourite character is Amy?
Probably, actually, yeah. Because Amy's fucking insufferable.
Yeah.
Like... Amy's like...
Do you know who's Jackie's favourite is? Big the Cat. Jackie fucking loves Big the Cat.
Amy is the kind of character that just, you know, when people complain about like their girlfriends being like, would you love me if I was a worm? That's
Rose.
That's Amy from Sonic.
Yeah, but it's Rose as well.
Oh, it's Rose
Can
as
you
well.
imagine?
Oh my god. What was it?
She turns to the doctor in the TARDIS. She's like, would you still love me if I absorbed the heart of the TARDIS and became a creature of life and death? And
what was it you said to me earlier in the spoons? When you were looking at the menu and you went, would you still be my friend?
Yeah, would you still be friends with me if I ordered a large mixed grill?
Would you still be friends with me if I ordered a large mixed grill?
The best part,
like, that's where I'm drawing the line. And then you complain when I'm like, you've got hammy fingers.
The best part was when was like, oh, get a large mixed grill if you want, Kate. Treat yourself. And I was like, I don't actually want one. I just thought it would be funny.
Would you still be friends with me if I ordered a large mixed grill? And you looked me like dead in the soul when you said it. Like, like when you asked it, I was like, is this your concern about our friendship? Is this where you're like, you know what? I've almost been friends with you like a year, maybe.
Garden pissing and McDonald's crying aside. Large mixed grill is the end.
When we inevitably release a Doctor Who Rewind biography, a book, pissing in the garden and crying in a Mackey's. So the Doctor makes a joke about Jackie fighting the wolf.
Yeah,
she'd win.
She would.
And I believe it.
I really do, yep.
Do you reckon she would go like half wolf trans, like Team Wolf? Like she would go
with a fucking spray bottle and she'd go, no!
You've got it. It's like, you need to stop it now.
Because on the one hand, I love the idea that Jackie just lets out some primal raw from deep within her soul, like Hulk Hogan style, tears off her like tracky top and just flings a car at the bastard. But at the same time,
She hits him with the big yellow truck from the last
right?
It's like slap, floors it straight into him.
I like that. But then I also like the idea that she just goes, no!
She looks out the window, she's like, roadkill. And like, oh, fuck. I think she would win, though. I do. Like, between this, we also get, like, a little insert shot of the maids being like, mistletoe, blah.
Yeah.
And is that, like, an actual... I don't know if you looked this up, if you found it. Is, like, mistletoe a folklore thing with werewolves? Because I've never heard that until
I'm
this
pretty sure it's
episode.
involved maybe in Wolfsbane, but mistletoe isn't native to...
Werewolf law.
No, like Aberdeenshire or whatever. No, I don't know if that's where this episode takes place or where the doctor says he's from. But either way, mistletoe is not a thing that's native to where this episode is set.
Okay.
And apparently that is in there as sort of like a hint. Not like an obvious hint, but if you know sort of thing to be like, oh, something is up with this werewolf not wanting to go near mistletoe, which is like...
Yeah, because they say it might be conditioned.
Yeah,
It's not actually weak to mistletoe, but it's
Same
being
how
conditioned
it's got like
against it.
the werewolf has incredibly sensitive hearing.
Yes.
Which is why shooting at it scares it away.
Yeah, because
Like when they're trying to scare it back into the house.
when I was watching it earlier, and I was telling you that Pornotash, when he comes around that corner with the gun, the werewolf is like face to face to him. He just pulls the trigger, and I'm like, yeah, that's brave. You be feeling
a bold move.
You be feeling his uvula. You be like, the wolf is like,
That one vine.
Nothing could be more disarming than if a wolf that was like 7 feet tall looks at you and just starts doing like the dog bark, the really wide yawn looking. I also, by the way, the Empire of the Wolf. Not to be that guy. I don't see a big issue. I'm like, okay, so we get like a bit more of a steampunky England. All right, and werewolves. That's cool. That's metal as fuck. I don't care. Let it happen, Doctor.
Also-
Put out. Go back to your box.
Queen Victoria, in any kind of apocalypse situation, Queen Victoria would be the absolute last person you would want on your team.
She stands about.
It's just a splinter. It's just a splinter from the door. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
The I'm thick montage. How do you feel about that?
The I'm thick montage.
You know, when the doctor's like, "Oh, I'm an idiot. It's all connected," and he's like hitting his head, and it like snaps.
Oh, yeah.
back and forth.
I've totally lost, man.
You lost.
In the script, yeah. I have no idea where we're at now. in
Oh
this
well,
episode.
I was still in the library, but it's fine.
Oh, I'm so far past that. That's where we are so far past now, man.
I'm still in my brain.
Oh, okay.
We can jump to the end if you want.
No, continue.
Oh.
Continue. I just don't want to make this super long and you have to edit
don't care.
and stuff.
My
Okay.
my only like note for this, and I genuinely feel this way. That's how finishing Sanderson books feels, by the way.
What?
When he's like, "Oh my god, it's all connected," and he's like hitting his head, and he's like,
Yeah.
"I'm so thick." That is like, I was like, yeah, that's how I
Putting the
feel
pieces
often.
together.
I'm like, how do I achieve writing like that? Because this episode, more than a lot of others, does some really good foreshadowing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. Then Rose just stands there, by the way, to get killed at one point. She turns around and does that, they just scream into the face of the thing trying to kill me. And
Yeah,
stands
she
still.
just kind of stops though, right? Like she doesn't like trip
She-
or she doesn't get like caught by anything. She just stops.
She stops and turns around and just stands still.
I mean, the thing is, that is a good shot.
Yeah, it's a great
So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, all right. British Jeremy Piven, he tries to go at this fucking wolf with a sword. What a ballsy man.
What's the move there?
Well, I mean, the doctor said bullets can't stop it, and this dude must have been like, well, I am a man of the sword. And then he just pulls out a fucking honor blade and is like, I'm going for it.
I mean, like, listen, my guy. Surely if bullets cannot pierce this thing's skin. And, this is,
he said bullets can't stop it.
okay. But these are like 1879 bullets, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it, I mean, I'm not a weapons expert. I'm not a history expert. But weren't those, like, old-timey guns, like, fucking lethal? Because they weren't bullets. They were basically just, like, little cannonballs.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
they would just...
Like muskets and shit.
Yeah, they just, like,
Yeah.
blow you a bit. Like, that,
Oh, I can't imagine they're fun.
Yeah, so, like, what the fuck's the sword gonna do? You know?
Stab.
I mean, it looks cool. Points for theatricality. He's committing to the bit, and I
Yeah, he's
appreciate
just like,
that.
I'm gonna fucking... Hell yeah, I'm going for this. But... Then when that happens, that he's prepping the telepop.
Yeah.
And the big the moon tube. He's prepping the moon tube, right? And
The light chamber.
not to be rude,
Well, actually,
not to be rude to the Queen, but she just like brandishes a cross like at the door, and I'm like, the fuck is that gonna do, hun?
the wolf is like, oh no, sorry.
Shit, I'm allergic to.
You got me.
I'm allergic to addition.
Oh.
If God was going to help you, he wouldn't have put you in this situation.
Yeah, right. This wouldn't have been
He
good.
wouldn't have sent
If
a
there
werewolf
if there
your
was a
way.
higher power, you would not be in this situation right now, Vicky.
You know those people who are like, every day God challenges me. Yeah, but I don't think I've ever thrown a fucking lycanthrope at you, you know? Oh no, it's a lycanthrope and it's Frank from Sunny. I'm a man cheater. And you're like, oh no. That's the only lycanthrope I want to deal with. Frank, if I said I want to have a man cheater right now, what would you do? I'd get the spots. He's got spots. I love that bit. That's the only wear anything I want to deal with.
Someone edit Frank Reynolds chasing Queen Victoria around the touch.
She's like, and then he just cuts to him and he's like, I'm a man cheater, and he's swinging his tail in the circle like he does. Like, he walks in like doing a sideways walk, whipping his little man cheater tail. I'm a man cheater.
Fucking do it. Fucking do it.
I like that, you know, then they capture the man in the light and he goes into a big cross. He's like,
yeah, they're like, turn up the moon, let him go.
yeah, make it brighter. I'm like, oh,
it's really sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
This doesn't work.
Yeah. Whenever I watch it, I'm like, oh, you poor dude.
Yeah,
you didn't ask for
I mean,
this.
like, this is a guy who is very easy to sympathize for, right? Because I mean, like, generally, you know, I think werewolves of all of sort of like the mythical creatures are the ones who are, you know, are quite sympathetic because it's kind of like you just go crazy at the full moon, you know? Like,
Yeah, you didn't choose this.
Yeah, you just lose your mind at the full moon and you turn into like a rampant beast. Because like vampires kind of feel like
Yeah.
they have the whole angst, like, oh, I want human blood, but you know, I can't
have it. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but you can still drink animal blood. You can drink like, you can do a Morbius in that film and drink fucking synthetic blood or whatever.
I'm always,
But if you're a werewolf,
I've always been like a werewolf of a vampire dude, and that's just because I like monsters. I'm like they're like big cool designs. I just want all that shit. I'm like, that's
I
so
think
cool.
werewolves are objectively cooler than vampires. But if given the choice, I would choose to be a vampire instead of a werewolf.
I mean, yeah, if it's this kind of werewolf where I'm like I'm gonna lose my mind, then yeah, I don't want that. If I could control it, I would love to be a werewolf. I'd be like, hell yeah, I got rar.
You know,
Rar.
Werewolf by Night from Marvel Comics.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Jack Russell. That's his name.
That's so funny.
His name's fucking Jack Russell.
Like the dog.
Like the dog.
My God.
Okay, so the wolf is gone.
She's got a splinter.
She's got a splint from the door.
Which, by the way, one of my big issues with this episode.
Vicky's got the cordyceps.
one of my my big issues with this episode is the doctor's like, hey, did that thing bite you? Because if it did, and she's like, no, just a scratch. It's clearly, by the way, it's not just a splinter. Obviously, like that's the obvious takeaway.
I mean,
the doctor lets that go way too easily.
I think the thing is that like based on the way things just turn out in the end here, and the way things are portrayed in Rose's time. Also, possibly it's just a throwaway joke, and I'm overthinking it. Haha. But like, based on some of the trivia and shit that I have, I'm inclined to believe that this, in fact, is actually not a werewolf bite. Like, it genuinely just is a splinter from the door.
Yeah.
But the problem is that I don't think this episode makes it like ambiguous enough.
I think
because I think if they did it as a whole, like, is it or isn't it, like, ooh, who knows, sort of thing, then I mean, and we're getting to the end of the episode anyway, so there's not a lot of time to really develop that. But then
they talk about on the way back to the TARDIS after they've been, knighted and aimed. They're going back to the TARDIS and they're talking about the royal disease that
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so clearly it was something.
Yeah,
clearly it was something, but like it's also not, I suppose.
Yeah, it goes nowhere, and it's not ambiguous for me to believe whether it's true or not. So
imagine if Ncuti Gatwa has an episode where like not the most recent queen, obviously, but like a queen at some point also developed is a werewolf too, and they
why do you think Harry and Meghan left?
And then people and
that's why
no, and so they do it, and it's like something in the early 1900s maybe, or like whatever the fuck, and like imagine if they do it that way, and they have a queen that's a werewolf, and then people on Twitter are like, female remake episode is so shit, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. This was plotted and given to you and
Well,
presented to you.
Is it
Be fucking quiet.
Is it Beast Below, right, with Liz 10? Like, did she have no wolf powers? Did she just get off
Can you
scot-free?
imagine if she just wolfed out in the middle on like Starship Phoenix?
That bit in fucking Twilight where Jacob's just absolutely pelted it towards Bella and then just jumps and turns into a fucking big dog.
I love the idea of being like, yeah, we keep finding scorpion tails erupting through the ground on Starship Phoenix, and also there's a giant whale that we are torturing, and also, by the way, the smilers are really weird and the children go missing. Oh, and there's a werewolf on board. And the 11th Doctor's like, Amy, I know you wanted to go on like one trip, but this is like way too intense.
This is too
for like your first. This is the sensory overload of Doctor Who. We can't be doing. We'll come back some other time.
I think it would just be a really funny bit from now on if just Doctor Who was like, yeah, they're all family of wolves, but just never like no one ever questions that. No one ever wants more information about that. It's just an accepted given that just the royal family are werewolves, and that's fine. They're just good boys. You know,
they're just good boys.
Apart from that, they're not. You know,
when they want to rip each other up. Then there's more ADR when they go outside, and then there's a bit of Torchwood foreshadowing, and then the episode ends.
Ooh, okay, real quick before the episode ends, my last points is one, imagine being Rose and going back.
And being the dame.
And being like, state. Mum, I'm a dame.
With your bag of washing for Jackie to do.
Yeah, right? She's like, Mum, I'm a dame and the queen is a werewolf. Like, Jackie would be like, Jesus Christ.
Do you think Jackie would be inclined to believe it too? She'd be like, fucking yeah, I've seen
She's telling like Tina the cleaner that, you know, she's like,
I've seen impossible things because of you, Rose, so I get it. Yeah, probably.
The Jackie is like running the Powell Estate gossip. She's like, oh my gosh, I'll never believe this. And our Rose has told us. I either think like she's like that, or my favorite theory is that just Jackie's really impressed by all of this, and she's like, oh yeah, of course she is, Rose, yeah, of course, yeah, sure. Like, not in a way that she doesn't believe it, just in a way that she's like, good for you, I don't care.
Then Jackie wolfs out and she's like, yeah, I've bitch slapped werewolves.
Oh, you know, like fucking
from the Powell Estate.
Jackie howling at the moon.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Try and go 1 week without talking about Jackie Tyler challenge. Impossible.
No, because she's a queen.
The ghost. Queen. Also, final take on this episode. Surprised that Queen Victoria didn't hear about aliens and spaceships and went, I'm going to go colonize that.
I mean...
More empire for me.
But can I have it?
Is it mine though?
Give it.
No, you're saying it's not mine. Well, I'm having it anyway.
Give it. Give it to me.
What do you rate this episode out of 5, Tyrese?
I'm probably going to be higher than you, I think. 4.5.
3. Again,
3 is just more the middle of the road. I'm okay with that. Mine is probably a bit of nostalgia, but I think that it does what it needs to. I think the motive is really cool. The Empire of the Wolf thing. I'm like, I can dig that. I can, power. If you want power, where do you go? You go where the power's at, and that makes sense. The foreshadowing's great. Seeing this thing and being like, this doesn't work. It's stupid, and then the Doctor being like, oh, it's built almost incorrectly for a good reason. That's all great to me. I really do enjoy a lot of this.
You wanna do trivia?
You got some trivia for me now?
Yeah, man.
Oh my god, give it to me then.
Okay, so I have some alien stuff, which is
this
is not a werewolf. It's a lupine wavelength hemiveriform. Just because I feel like we got.
Is that like the big wasp from season 4?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not.
No, probably not. Also, apparently in a history of humankind, which is supposed to be like a textbook about history that the 12th Doctor has written. I don't own it, but I would like to.
Was that a real book you can buy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Apparently,
the 12th Doctor wrote.
Yeah, like in Universe or something.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's cool.
But this is like just on the note of it being an alien. It is referred to there as like as like a virus or like a spore or something that like
spores.
Yeah.
Last of Us.
Yeah, that spore, that virus that evolved until it could take
the Doctor is Joel and Rose is Ellie.
Imagine.
River's Tess.
Well, apparently, a wolf killed 3 farmers in 1984, and then its claws were recovered and kept in a museum, which comes from the Flash game security bot from the BBC.
I thought you were telling me an actual history thing.
No, the BBC fucking website where you play as Mickey gathering alien artifacts.
I don't want to play as him.
Here's the actual like fun piece of trivia.
Okay.
That I was saying to you earlier. In an alternate version of like the script, specifically the part where the wolf attacks Victoria,
Yeah.
it killed her.
Oh my god.
Like, it was going to be like a Russell T Davies surprises viewers things, and it killed her. And that is the split that created Pete's World.
I love that. No, I love that though. No, but yes, but give that to me.
Is the point? Is this what you think? Like, this is... I mean, I can't, like, necessarily think of a better one, but, like...
No, but I mean, in terms of creating a parallel universe. But then,
Well,
you've got to really dance around to make that make sense, because when they get stuck in a parallel universe, it's a, the TARDIS is a space-time travel thing. It's not meant for going between universes. That's not
The reason why it was, like, axed
yeah
is because Russell T Davies thought it would be too, like, confusing for
the viewer.
casual viewers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's fair, because I know that, like, my mum, who is a person who watches the occasional Marvel movie, is like, I like to see a fun movie. I don't really give a fuck about the multiverse. And I would say my mum is like a casual viewer.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that one. When Father Angelo is chanting out the window, in Latin.
I was going to ask if you know what he says.
The wolf is great, the wolf is strong, the wolf is God. That's like the translation, obviously, he's saying it in Latin, but I wasn't going to attempt to do the Latin.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I'd butcher that.
At one point during filming, Billy Piper's hair caught fire. And I don't know what point it was. But
Going home and watching Confidential.
At some point that happened.
Imagine if it's on there. Imagine if it's on the
footage.
Confidential. Well, I mean, if they were shooting, like, BBC archives.
I mean, also, is there like open candles in this somewhere? Because it's entirely possible it's just an accident.
Maybe.
Right?
I'm glad that she got out unscathed and safe, and there wasn't a major injury on set, because that's a problem.
There is another ep in which there was a Queen Victoria assassination plot.
I thought you were going to say another ep in which Billy Piper's hair caught fire, and I was going to be like, well, she's only got like 11 left, so come on.
It was a real problem in the last season. Billy Piper just kept catching fire. she just kept combusting. No one knew why.
And you know what? In one of them, it wasn't even her fault. David Tennant was like, "Look, I've got the Olympic torch," and just
want to see something funny.
She caked her hair in hairspray for fear her, and the doctor walked over the Olympic torch and was just like, "Human
He's
candle."
like, Russell, watch this.
Do you love me?
Never implying, by the way, that like beloved actor
David
Tennant would set another person on fire.
No, I just love the idea that he's actually a pyromaniac. Like, not that he is setting people on fire in general,
just that he loves fire.
Like, he's just on the TARDIS set, just like clipping a lighter, watching it go out, clipping a lighter. And everyone's like, "David, we need you on set." And he's like,
like when you tell me off for doing stuff, Russell's just like, "Stop it."
Yeah, I do tell you off for them.
Yeah. Yeah. There was another episode that had a Queen Victoria assassination plot, which
was this a classic Who episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
This like my memory may fail me in this situation, but I believe this one is set in 1883. So
it's like just after same Queen.
It was one of my favorite episodes of classic Who. It was Ghostlight.
Which Doctor?
7.
Oh, 7th Doctor story. Okay.
Seven and Ace. It was one of the last ones.
7. You love 7.
I love Ace.
You love 7.
So good, honestly, genuinely. Ghostlight. Oh, this is a good one.
We'll get to it in 8 years.
Yeah.
9, maybe.
Yeah, Doctor, stop
we're
emotionally abusing this poor young woman.
When we are like 30 odd, we'll probably get to it.
Finally, final point.
Final point.
So it's just like a kind of little funny full circle moment, I think, for Doctor Who. But in The Crusade, Ian is knighted by King Richard. Was it King Richard the Lionheart or something, like historically his name was, I think.
This is the first Doctor story.
Yeah, this is the first Doctor story of like Ian and Barbara. But the historical figure, like he knights Ian.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Doctor has a little like, oh, like I would care to be knighted, or whatever. And then later on in the King's Demons, which is a 5th Doctor story, the 5th Doctor is knighted, but it's by like an imposter, so obviously it's not like don't count.
Null and void.
So now he finally does get a knighthood.
Finally got it,
and it sticks.
Isn't it weird that he doesn't like say Sir Doctor every now and then? Because I'd toss one of them in there. Do you?
Sir Doctor sounds fake, doesn't
Sir Doctor
it? Like
sounds
as
fake,
like title and then title.
What? So here's like a little question, just when we talk about like referencing and stuff. Do you think that the 60th is going to be like new stuff just coming out of the wazoo? Or do you think it's going to be this like in fact, we'll do this separately, actually. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Sorry, we were going to say the same thing.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, how excited are you for school reunion?
School union, I love it.
Yep.
I
was tearing up in the library earlier
when you were watching
Yeah.
the scene.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I other than like my rewatch like last year, and then I obviously the one when I was in my old house and stuff like, and I have not rewatched Sarah Jane in so long, and I know that it won't be this year unless we'll tussle with this.
Yeah,
very soon.
We'll figure that one out.
I just can't wait to see Liz Sladen back on screen again, because
I know.
she is phenomenal all the time. And you know what? I've never, in all of like the interviews and behind the scenes, never heard like a bad word about Liz Sladen. She was always welcoming and nice, and would never make anyone feel. And like I know that on set for Sarah Jane, she would have all the fun in the world with like, obviously it was a younger crowd.
Yeah.
Everyone on there was like a teenager. She would have all the fun in the world with those. But then when it come down to doing a job, she would remind them like, hey, this is a job, by the way. There is plenty of time to dick around on set, but it is also a job. And there was like a perfect work but fun balance. And I'm like, that's so wholesome.
This, like, I mean, I feel like a lot of the time when, you know, if you were to say to someone like, a good classic Who companion,
Yeah.
and it feels like Sarah Jane is like sort of, you know, the one that would
The
be
face
like,
of the...
Yeah, and we're like, well, there is a reason. Sometimes things that are popular because they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sarah Jane is one of those. And I'm like, yeah, I can get really obscure with it. I can tell you fucking Chameleon is my favourite classic Who companion, you know?
They're really aces.
Yeah, I would never.
You never cheat on Ace like
I
that.
know, I wouldn't even dream of it. Ace means more to me than anything else in all of Doctor Who.
Including your own skin.
Yep. No doubt. But like, you know, yeah, be awkward about it. Be like, I loved Sarah Kingdom more than anyone. That, you can't deny how good Liz Sladen is. Just everything about her, you know, like the way she carries herself.
Yeah.
The way she interacts.
The way that she's always genuinely interested, and she never phones it in ever, and she's always having a good time, and I'm like, that's what I need from you.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, maybe, you know, it's sort of like, in part, maybe it just is the way that Sarah Jane as a character is written. But an episode of Doctor Who with Sarah Jane Smith in it feels just like, oh yeah, like, you know, classic, absolutely classic.
Yeah.
Not in the classic Who sense, but in the way of just like a
everything
good
in here
old
works.
thing. Yeah, it's like eating a comfy meal, you know, like having a nice lasagna.
Why are you looking at me like that?
You know.
Sorry about that. My thighs sometimes make that sound.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
What?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I'm not questioning, actually.
We'll see you next week for school reunion.
Bye.
Oh, could you say bye quieter than that? Jesus.
Bye. It's Doctor Who Rewind ASMR.
Oh, by the way, it's DW Rewind everywhere.
Oh yeah, but it's just Twitter.